will start by I will start by introducing our trainer for today. So Dr. Elijah COD has over 30 years of hands-on leadership experience. Dr. OD is the chairman and he is a chairman and corporate strategist of OAAD Global, resident think tank, talent mobilization consultant, talent management expert, and president of Global Organization of African Academic Doctors, OAAD. OAAD is a competency-based international organization aligned with the African Union's AU Agenda for 2063. He holds a PhD in environmental management and has 15 years university faculty experience, leveraging technology and collective competencies of members. Dr. Odi leads OAAD Global in presenting an organized front for Africa's knowledge economy expansion, innovation, funding strategies, collation and amplification of collective competitive advantages, strengthening collective bargaining power and highlighting gaps Africa and African talent can fill while providing top-notch support for Africans and non-Africans who seek multi-sectoral portfolio of opportunities in Africa and presents in the emerging world of artificial intelligence, AI. Other points of note of our trainer today, Dr. Elijah COD's engagements. He's the Vice Chairman of Asia-Africa Alliance of Learning Organizations, AAALO, Faculty of University of Nigeria, focal person for Committee on University of Nigeria's collaboration with Chinese universities, visiting professor at Zhejiang Normal University, China, adjunction researcher at Institute of African Studies and Center for Nigerian Studies, Zhejiang Normal University. He is a member of the board sustainability consultant for Lordsmith Tech Company Limited, a petrochemical manufacturing and engineering company employing over 1,200 staff in Nigeria. He's the executive secretary for Next Level Educational Foundation International, African Cultural Exchange Ambassador. He has engaged over 10,000 Chinese children and teachers from over 20 provinces and autonomous regions of China, mobilizer, songwriter, singer, drummer. Dr. Odi oversees OAAD Global First Principles of Collaboration as the compass for co-creating deliverables for individual countries, multilateral and intergovernmental organizations. The following are few deliverables in the past 5 years. 5,000 plus talent in diverse disciplines, PhD holders, PhD students, innovators, entrepreneurs, professors. 200 plus research articles coordinated and published by the organization in diverse academic journals, one highlighted by the United States Environment Protection Agency, USEPA. 350 plus research groups. 4 strategic pathway to 200,000 African talents, numerical strength. 50 plus African countries, talent engaged. 5 continents presence of members, Africa, Asia, Australia, Europe, and North America. So whether in academia or industry, Dr. Odi has an eye for gaps, advances, productive collaborations with deliverables in science, technology, innovation, and entrepreneurship, whilst leading service provision in the full spectrum of subnational, country level, international and intergovernmental policy development strategies. Dr. Odi and team are institutionalizing intergenerational knowledge and wealth creation system in Africa, allowing early career researchers and young professionals leverage the influence and resources of established African and non-African partners who care for win-win deliverables. So, ladies and gentlemen, please let's welcome our trainer for today, who is no less a person but Dr. Elijah C. Odi. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much for the invitation to share these thoughts. Good day, my neighbors, everyone joining today's meeting. It's my joy to engage with all of us. Thank you for coming to be part of the meeting, and we're looking forward to having very good time together. Welcoming all of us. And having said that, we'll go right away into the training for today, which is the fourth session. With many thanks to our brother, Professor Komolafe, who is the Director of Research of OAAD Global, who handled the session for yesterday. He did very good justice to the session, and today I will just top up the remaining part, and we hope that it will be beneficial to everyone that may need it. And remember that our goal for doing all of this is that we want our colleagues from different parts of Africa to be able to raise their level of competency. Many have already been published in different journals, but we want to see the competency of various African researchers, get to be raised in such a way that can allow more and more people to contribute to Africa's research output. It's unfortunate that it's still said that till today, Africa contributes less than 1% of global research output. There are many factors that are related, that cause this, many complicated factors. But we, at the Global Organization of African Academic Doctors, we do not complain. We just organize ourselves and try to work hard to make contributions in ways that can help us drive processes. So it's a joy to be here today to talk on this topic, which is focusing on choosing the right journal for scientific paper. After you've finished writing, it's important to publish at the right place so that it can be beneficial either for the purpose of policy recommendations or for the purpose of engagement in further implementation, whether for product development or whichever aspect. So having said that, we'll just push forward right away into the talk for today. Yes, so please, Josephine, take note. A number of people are already in the waiting room. Yes, you're a co-host. You'll be able to admit other people. Right, excellent. So we are now moving into the training for today. So choosing the right journal. I'll just before we move forward, I'd like to ask if you've published some papers, please can you type the number of papers you've published? And if you know the impact factor, or if you remember the impact factor of the journal you published in, you can also type it. You can write the number of papers and you make a comma, and the other number will indicate the impact factor. So we can just rejoice with you. So I'm looking in the chat box right now. Let's do that. If you have published any papers, you can just put it in there. It's a joy to be with the Union of African Communities in Xi'an. Let's do that. Number of papers published. Please throw them into the chat box. Right. Papers published. Or do we have all new researchers or upcoming researchers today? That would be even better, because in that way, that means that everything we're seeing will be very relevant for everybody. Number of papers published. Can I be heard clearly? Okay. Lauren has published in Environment, Development, and Sustainability Impact Factor 4.7. Congratulations, brother. Yes, Lauren. Sisha Hayo. Great job, great job. So we hope to get some support from you as we progress with the training. Yes, any other person that's published? Any other person published already in the meeting today? Okay, so if we don't have more people who are published, maybe Lauren and I will be the presenters for today, and I hope that he will support me as we progress. Okay, William Boyak. Which journal did you publish in? Yeah, William has just put something really good. He's showing his ORCID number. So every researcher, it's important for you to have ORCID. If you don't have that yet, it's important you get ORCID account, or you can open an account on ResearchGate, since it seems that many of the people that are with us today are still upcoming researchers. To be very helpful, because that's where people can see the research you've done, and they can get involved in interacting with you. Great. So, right. So we just take it further right now as we move to other layers of the training. So the right journal, how do you know the right journal? A journal, can you still hear me? Okay, a journal is said to be right if it is able to reach the audience that requires or that needs the paper you've published. That will make it the right journal. If it can, the purpose of writing is for people to be able to read it and use it. That means that researchers are contributing or doing something that is beneficial for humanity. If people are able to have access to it and read it, if they read it, it could be government officials that have access to it, depending on the kind of research. It could be family. It could be a family that is trying to raise children and they want to be able to read what's the existing research going on at the moment in terms of family and child upbringing or child raising. They want to be able to read what researchers are saying to identify the best ways for them to drive forward in raising their kids well. It could be entrepreneurs who are looking for businesses they want to be able to contribute to, or new products to develop. And they want to see what is the research that's ongoing in different fields of interest. And they want to find out what are the innovations. Yesterday, when our brother, Professor Komolafe, was speaking, he kept mentioning innovation as the factor that is considered by researchers or by journals before they accept the papers to be published. They like to ensure that the research has got some novelty before they can publish it. So innovation for entrepreneurs, they want to be able to see what is the innovation ongoing at the moment in that research field, so that they can advance the research they are doing and drive forward in different areas. Yes, okay, I just saw in the chat room that our brother or our neighbor Rida Muzamal has written a paper, but it's not accepted yet by any journal. Possibly it's undergoing review. I wish you all the best. Looking forward to hearing your good news. And our brother William Boyakyet is a reviewer for 3 journals. That's really amazing. Very great contributions is making there. And that will remind you of what our trainer for yesterday was talking about, the review process. When you submit the papers, it could be accepted, it could be rejected. We're going to get more, I'm going to get more information on that very soon as we progress with the training for today. So we just want to make this as practical as possible. If during the process you want to say something or you want to contribute in some way, please feel free to let us know so we can give attention to that. If you want to say something, or you want to ask a question or something of that nature, please let us know and we can give you attention. Yes, so for taking it further, we are looking today as the journal requirements. You want to be able to look at what's the format. What is the format that the journal requires, the style. So before you submit to any journal, it's important that you consider early steps so that you don't waste your time. In fact, we usually advise that you look at the requirements of the journal before you begin to write for that journal. So usually they have what they call the author pack. Our brother Boyak should, of course, knows very much about this. For different journals, they have different author packs. And for different indexing houses like Elsevier, or Web of Science, they have their pack as well that provides guidance for different authors to be able to have access to guidance on how to make sure that they prepare their work for the right journal, or to ensure that they don't make mistakes that get them into into a stalemate or into difficulty in terms of trying to publish their work. So early selection is very important. The author pack will also tell you about the word count. It will also tell you about the style, the citation style, and all such things. And we, of course, we do mention that for some of those things, referencing style, there are, there could be a different arrangement for people to learn about those. I think that there is an upcoming training possibly being organized by the Sierra Leone Students Union in China. I think they'll be paying attention to referencing tools, different referencing tools, which if you are involved in that, or if you are available, you can pay attention within the communities and participate in that to get further lessons on those. So, like I said, the goal always is for you to be able to communicate. If you are writing, you must have a target audience. And I mentioned the number of target audiences. You can look about families. Every family can be, for those who do research, you can look up entrepreneurs. They can be your target audience, entrepreneurs in specific fields. It could be in the field of energy, it could be in the field of power, it could be in the field of water management, it could be in the field of food production, agriculture, the field of, different fields. So the field or the people who are interested in what you're doing would be your target audience, because they need solutions to be able to make their work better, or it could also be fellow researchers in that field. So those become your target audience, and you want to be able to, your purpose of writing is not for you to enjoy what you have written. You're not writing to yourself or writing for yourself. Rather, you are writing so that the people, the audience that is interested in your writing will be able to read and learn what they need to make their writing better, or to advance themselves, in the process of their engagement. So yes, and
this Zoom meeting. In Zoom meeting.
Can you still hear me? So when you can I still be heard? Like I could hear somebody else talking. Can you type in the text box?
Please, whoever is speaking, please put turn on your mute. Rita, sorry about that interruption. Please go ahead, sir.
Right, excellent. Yes. So so avoid issues that, kind of repetition of things you've written before, or misfit of topics. Topics are extremely important. Check that you're not writing on similar topic that has been written already recently. And because when that happens, it would mean that you may have difficulty doing the research that can be advanced, in the process of your engagement. Okay, so the next would be checking you need to choose based on the intended message. I think I've talked about this as well. Could it be national, regional, or international? What scale, or what levels of researchers do you want to engage, or levels of engagement do you want to have? What scale, what layers? So you need to ensure that the journal publishes the type of article, and you need to be able to check the review journal, check the aim and all of that, so that you are writing in the right direction. And we also think about the peer-reviewed journals. They are the ones that enhance credibility. I remember yesterday when our brother was training, he talked about the fact that if you submit your paper to a journal, and the journal says that, okay, we're going to publish it very quickly, and you don't need to, you're not going to do any peer review. You submit it today, we can publish it next week, or we can publish it tomorrow, or in fact, we can publish it today. If you meet such a journal, do not be happy, because they are not a good journal. It will put you in trouble. Right. So if our neighbor, Lauren, you may tell us your experience of Boyac, William. If you're able to, you can share with us your experience on reviewing. I see that your video is not active, but your audio is here if you are disposed. Laurent is another person who mentioned that he has published. Laurent, would you like to tell us what you encountered when you did your review?
Thank you very much, the president of OAAD, Elijah, Dr. Elijah. Well, when I was in my master's 2 years ago, where I did my master's, it was one of the requirements for my graduation, of course. Then I was involved in the publication process, and it was quite very hard, especially for during that time I was just a master's student, and with you are trying to look for your master's degree, but you still have only the bachelor degree. You don't have the uh, the large knowledge in the research, so it was quite very tough, and especially when you are dealing with those Chinese professors that everybody knows here in this country. So, the one of the guidance from my teacher was to learn from existing studies. This was the only things that he used to tell me, Laurent, you have to learn from existing studies. So then I have to keep relying on on the existing studies until I'm coming up with what I am going to do during my master's research. So I wrote this is the second paper I wrote during my master's journey. I just wrote three papers as the first author, and my boss, I mean my supervisor, was the corresponding author as well. So the first paper was quite very tough, especially when people keep changing the major, the fields. In my bachelor, I did crop science, but in my master's, I changed to agriculture economics, management of agriculture economics. So it was a little bit trying to go in the other direction. So the first paper was quite very tough. I find my teacher, he has the analyze the data. There is a master student, a Chinese student who did that work before. It was not my work. It was not me who did the data collection and the do analysis of my data. So to understand, first of all, the analysis was absolutely very hard until I used to go once again to apply to ask the raw data and write and start to analyze once again. And that paper has been rejected almost 4 times, and it was so painful. I feel like, yeah. So now my teacher is going to say I am a very useless student. But through those rejections, I begin to learn until I decide to reanalyze the data. And when I reanalyzed the data once again, I figured out that the data that has been analyzed by that Chinese was not really right. So then, after doing the new analysis, I keep pushing with my discussion until the paper was accepted. For the second, the third paper, it was quite very easy because it was very related to my thesis. So it was my original work. So I do understand everything from up to the from bottom to from the top to the bottom. And of course, as you are talking, we do have multiple journals. Some are predatory journals, others, especially these slide peer review journals, others are SCI journals. So, also in the SCI journals, we do have some journals which are likely where you sometimes when you used to pay, it look like the effort that you are going to spend on that paper is not quite too much, especially the MDPI publisher. Unfortunately, in some universities here in China, some of those publishers are banned. If you publish in such kind of journals, they cannot accept your paper as a graduation paper.
Mm.
So, with my boss, so my master's boss, he pushed me to submit in the journal where we cannot pay. So the subscription journals. Though in most of cases, from my past experience, they take a long time to give me the feedback. So if they take 3 months and they reject, you feel a big pain in your heart. But if you take 3 months and they give you the major revision, you become very strong and you feel so happy, and immediately you start to enjoy to celebrate that big accomplish of having the major revision that you are going to work on it almost 1 or 2 months according to the deadline given by the journal. So I worked on the comment. It was the major revision. I worked on it, and then I resubmitted it. They take almost 6 months until the paper was published after 18 months
Wow.
without any single rejection.
That's
So it was quite very tough in that journal. And also the climate and the development, I also published in that journal. They took almost 24 months, almost 2 years.
wow.
So the publication journey require a kind of strength. Yeah, mostly a kind of strength and to be courageous, to be strong, not to rush, because you cannot rush the reviewers, especially when people are doing the social science, because in the social science is a little bit different with the people are doing natural science. We everybody from everywhere he can write. So the journals in some cases they have a lot of papers, and there is a time I used to push even the editors. You guys, how you don't reply me? The paper is taking more than 2 years, more than many months. And then they reply me the email. Don't worry, the paper is under review of the reviewers, is under the hands of the reviewers. So take your time. We're gonna reply you soon. And later on, I asked them another month. They told me we have received the comment from one reviewer. We are still waiting the second reviewer. So it was a little bit frustrating, but you need to be very and very and very patient. This is the most, it is, this is what I learned from that time. When you want to rush, you can't make it. You have to be very patient, go on their rhythm, and then be patient. But at the end of the day, when the paper is out, you feel so happy at all. You feel so happy, you see, and also during that process, you keep learning, you keep learning. So this is my experience that I can share with you guys. Thank you very much to give me this time to make my speech.
Thank you so much, Lauren. I'm really, really excited. I think you summarized everything I will be talking about. Yes, but of course, I will go ahead to talk about it, also bring in some few technical components. But if you've listened to what Lauren said now, you have heard literally everything you need to know about the section I'm handling. And I thank Lauren for his support in this training. So like if you listened to everything he mentioned, he talked about the acceptance, talked about the possible rejection, talked about the length of time required, 18 months. Sometimes it could be really, really stressful because when you're doing a PhD, you have 3 years or 4 years to finish the PhD. And the requirement usually is that you need to publish a paper before you graduate. But here is a journal that's keeping you for 2 years. And usually you're not able to submit such a paper early enough. So what do you do? This is very important, especially for those who are not yet, who have not spent a lot of time. If you're doing masters or you're planning to do masters or you are doing PhD, you need to, the moment you get into whether it's a laboratory or the office where you will be doing your research, the moment you arrive, begin to talk about paper. Begin to ask your professor, try to find out what your professor is doing, what you prepared at the time of your submitting or kind of your application. The project you proposed may not be what you work on, but the earlier you understand that the program belongs to you, not to your professor, the better. Because in that way, you can move really fast and try to make yourself achieve these things faster. And of course, it's important to recognize that when you have finally published, there is the room for indexing. So there are places, these are some indexing houses, which include, what indexing houses mean are, these are the kind of the place where the research is put together. So you have publishers. You can think about Nature, Springer Nature. You can think about Elsevier. These are publishers, some of the most well-known publishers. But after they have finished publishing, they need to put their work in a compilation where people are able to have access to it. And some of those compilations or some of those databases include places like PubMed, Scopus, Web of Science, SCI, SSCI, ESCI. These are different. Under the Web of Science, you have the SCI, you have the SSCI. The SCI is Science Citation Index. SSCI is Social Science Citation Index. ESCI, Expanded Science Citation Index, and several other ones. It's important. These kind of give idea of the quality of work. If the journal is indexed in any of these indexing houses, it gives you an idea that this journal is a good one. But if you find a journal that is not indexed anywhere, you should be afraid of such journal. Okay, so impact factor. When you've published, it's important, or when you're about publishing, if you want your work to be seen by many people and cited possibly by many people, you need to find a journal that has impact factor. And of course, there are different kinds of impact factor. And but you see that journals that have impact factor, they enjoy visibility. And you can also use it for academic promotion. Professors in universities require this for their promotion. If you want to be in the academia, if you want to do a PhD, if you are doing masters, if you published in journals that have impact factor, you are more likely to be accepted by professors when you write to them. In fact, if you have good publications that have good impact factor and you apply to any professor, the professor is likely going to be the one reminding you. After you've made contact, the early contact, the professor will make sure that you are accepted because you have already shown evidence of power. You have shown evidence of capability to produce research output. So if you are applying for scholarship, you'll get the scholarship very easily because you have shown evidence of capability in advance. So there is also, when our brother was presenting yesterday, he also talked about open access, closed access journals. If you want your work to be immediately available to your target audience, it's important that you need to look at journals that have impact factor and that are open access. If you're going to publish an open access journal, you need to pay for it. When our neighbor Laurent was talking, he talked about that his supervisor, his professor, always pushed him to publish in journals that don't take article processing charges. So journals that take article processing charges are called open access, and they are open because you pay for it even before, at the point of publishing, you pay for it. So because you paid for it, you will be able to receive, the journal will be able to make it open immediately you publish it. But when you don't pay, it's possible to publish in very good journals without paying. Good journals that also have a high impact factor, you can publish there without paying. But the problem is that it will be closed access, which implies that people who want to cite the work or read the work cannot read it easily until after about 24 months or 48 months of embargo. For some, they use 12 months. But during that period, what they want to do is that they want to make money from the work, because there are people who pay to assess the work you are doing. And there are people whose company's products are dependent on the research already published by people. So they see what you published and they make products out of it. They make a lot of money. But of course, unfortunately, many researchers are not rich. But what you can do is that if you publish in good journals, you may be able to get grants to do more research, or you may be able to apply for patents for some innovative outcomes you have made. And if those patents are good, you could sell it to companies. But in most occasions for students, usually when patents are made, it belongs to the institution where it was developed. So the laboratory that you worked in may be the owner of the patent, but if you are a co-holder of the patent, it will be really good because you can get some benefits from it. So open access, closed access, that is what it's about. Some journals have hybrid kind of publication where they can do both open access and closed access, and you can choose. You also, of course, there's also format like in print, but print is no longer very popular these days. Most journals are online. They publish online. And publication fees. When our brother Laurent was talking, you may remember that he mentioned publication fees. He mentioned that, and his supervisor always advised him not to submit to those. So before you submit, you need to confirm with your professor, or if you are already on your own as an independent researcher, of course, you already know that you must confirm whether it is a journal that requires open access, because some people will submit the work and it will finish undergoing all the review and all of that, and then they find out that they have to pay before the work is published and they are stuck. So in order to avoid being stuck, be sure that you confirm first before you submit there. Confirm how much they charge, if they charge. Also, if you come from an African country or you've done the research in an African country, you may be able to get waivers where they give waivers for researchers that come from low and middle income countries. And of course, that is all Africans are from low and middle income countries, all African countries. Of course, most countries in the global south are also like that. So journal administration and transparency, this is very important. When you're submitting, you need to be able to, the journal should be able to communicate with you. You remember when our brother Laurent was talking, he mentioned that he kept trying to communicate with the editors. So it is very important if you are able to communicate with the editors. Asma Said, you are annotating. Please stop doing that. You are annotating. Asma Said, please, you're making some lines on the slides. That's going to distract some people. I know you may have done it mistakenly. It happens, but please just avoid it so that it doesn't distract us. Right. So so we see there should be the first evidence of author friendliness is that they will give you a pack, the author pack. Then there is you need to look at a fair possibility of time-bound review process. You need to be able to check. Some journals will take 1 week to give you the first response. Some will take 3 weeks. Some will take sometimes up to 1 month to give response. So you need to check that depending on your need. And most students, most early career researchers need their papers to be published quickly, because usually early career researchers, many of them in different universities, the university require them to publish at least 2 papers a year, and some require 1 paper a year. And if it's for PhD students or postdocs, all these are different layers. But so it will also be important that for those who are still coming up in research, you can take note of all these things ahead of time so that you never really get to lose time. So you look for journals with regular publishing schedules and ethical transparency. So visibility and access, talked about that already. So when you have high online visibility, high visibility will help your work to be accessible. And I would like to ask us, how can you ensure, maybe if anybody would like to, if you'd like to answer this question, you may either type in the chat box or raise your hand, use your hand raise function on Zoom to answer. How can you ensure, how can you ensure that your work will be visible? I would like to give us two means or 2 methods. Anybody can answer. Give us 2 ways that your work, you can type in the chat box, but if you like to talk, you can raise your hand. Okay, yeah, just like I suspected. Okay, yeah, beautiful. Somebody has responded. Ezekiel Ogungbemi said open access. If you want your work to be immediately visible and enjoy beautiful things, you need to publish in open access, high index and impact factor. Yeah, impact factor, good. Engineer Kanu has responded, suggesting that we should impact factor. Impact factor is an indication of the frequency of citations of the work. So these are 2 very important, or 3 very important areas. It has mentioned open access, indexed. The work should be indexed in one of the indexing houses, and it should have impact factor. These are 3 things. Also, journals with good reputation. Yes, Laurent mentioned journals with good reputation. And usually the indicators you use to know journals with good reputation are journals that have good impact factor, because usually more and more people cite them because they believe them, because they have good reputation. Right. Thank you, Engineer Kanu. Thank you, Ezekiel. Thank you, Lauren, for the contributions you just made. And of course, Asma said, I recognize that it was a mistake. Yeah, so it was done in error. Right. Okay. So journals that are also published online immediately enjoys visibility. And consider journals that are published by professional societies. For example, the Global Organization of African Academic Doctors, OAAD, is in the process of starting a journal. So when you find journals that are published by professional organizations, you can be sure that, yes, this journal is going to be a good one. Or there are, for those in the area of geology, there are journals published by EGU, European, sorry, I don't know I just know that, okay, it's AGU. I don't know the full meaning, but it is for people in geology or in some physical sciences. Does anybody know the full meaning of the AGU? AGU is a very important professional organization for those in that field. They can, of course, they organize a lot of conferences from time to time, which they use for, anybody knows the full meaning? Okay. And also another one would be those in chemistry, the Society of Chemistry. Such entities are really important because they help the different entities, whether within that organization or outside the organization. They are able to help people to have a good level of understanding. Yes. So under chemistry, our brother Solomon suggested ACS. What's the full meaning? Association of Chemistry Society or American Chemistry Society. Right. So yeah. So okay, American. Yeah. Okay, American Chemistry Society. Yeah. So when you find a journal published by American Chemistry Society, you can be sure 100% that it is a good journal. If you find a journal published by AGU, you can be sure that it's a good journal. Find works published by American Geophysical Geophysical Union. Okay, Emmanuel said American Geophysical Union. Thank you so much. That's AGU, right? Thank you, Emmanuel. Thank you, Solomon, for your contribution to this webinar. Okay, AGU. Thank you, Rita Toba, for your support. American Geophysical Union. That's AGU. They are very well respected in their field, and they publish a lot of work. Can people give us any other examples of professional organizations which people can look out for? You can type in the chat box, or you can raise your hand. Okay, IEEE. Yeah, IEEE. Emmanuel suggested IEEE. What's the full meaning of IEEE? But usually these bodies don't even care to. People don't, often may not, except those in the field may not. Other people may not know the full meaning. But usually, if you just type that into any platform, everybody knows it. Okay. Okay. Somebody's asking for some best aquaculture journal. Somebody's asking for that. Okay, now there's something I'm going to do next, which can also help us. So consider journals published by professional societies. Okay, so Asma, when we go to the next page, I will respond to this, your request. The best journal in aquaculture. We will handle it in the next. Okay, also somebody's asking, Rida is Muzamal is asking for in the economics journal. Okay, we're going to take that in the next slide. We'll do it practically. Okay, IEEE, IEEE is Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers. This is a very important body. This is a very important body. Yeah, okay, there's also AAG. AAG is American Association of Geographers. That's really good. Thank you, Samuel, for your contribution to this webinar. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, GSA, Geological Society of America. Why are you all of you are putting American associations? Are there none in Africa? Please, can you put some African associations so that people can also pay attention to publishing there? You can also put some Chinese associations that people can look into. Very soon, you'll be able to see OAAD as one of the associations where you can, or organizations that are publishing, because our journal is on the way. You'll be able to see that, and you can publish. We'll be having 10 journals under our portfolio, and we are hoping to provide for several African colleagues, because we have designed things that will be filling gaps. Yes, so that's good, that's good, that's good. So we'll move to the next slide right now. Okay, Nigeria Geological Society Agency. Beautiful. This is from Nigeria, and it is also a powerful agency. Okay, Ajare, Australian Journal of Agricultural and Resource Economics. Okay, this is an example of a journal, not a body. Right. So as we go to the next slide right now, that's what we're going to deal with that. So the review, this is the kind of the editorial processes. These are the pathways. When you submit your journals, so you submit, after you submit to a journal, you're going to go through editorials. after the editors check it, they're going to pass it on to reviewers, and reviewers may say that, okay, there's some challenge, or even the editorials could say there's a challenge with this work and the authors need to do something about it before it is moved forward. But for you to avoid losing time, you need to check the author pack or the author guide very effectively. Make sure you follow the processes so that you don't waste time. After you've submitted, they send it back to you and say, okay, there are minor errors, fix the citations, fix the referencing style, fix the font size. You know, it will be quite a challenge. Like after you've done all the work and you submit, and after 2 weeks they're telling you you need to use the right font size or the indentation style. Those are small formatting issues that you should not lose time on. So your work could be accepted after review, or I remember the story that our brother Laurent told us. After the work has been sent to the reviewers, it could be accepted after a short time or after a long time. And it could be sent back for some review. It could be minor review or major review. At the end of the day, it could be rejection. But whatever the case is, remember that you are still a strong person and you don't allow rejection to hit you down. But that sounds very simple to say. Just imagine that you're waiting for your graduation, and your graduation is dependent on whether your work gets published or not, and you are waiting with your heart beating so fast, and you've waited for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, 1 year, and the time for graduation is getting close, and you're waiting and you're waiting, and suddenly they say your work has been rejected. Whoa, that's a very bad one. We don't want to hear such a news. But all the same, it's possible. Like our brother mentioned, his own work stayed for 2 years, 24 months, 18 months. Some are 12 months, some are 6 months. Some also publish within 2 months, some 3 months, and they're not bad journals. They are also good journals. But there are a lot of factors that lead to one thing or another. But one thing we know is that the number of reviewers is reducing strongly. Many people don't like to review anymore. Reviewers are complaining because journals are not paying them. Journals don't pay people to review. They only tell them thank you. And but the journals make a lot of money from the process. So reviewers are feeling uncomfortable. Researchers are feeling uncomfortable. But researchers also, universities recognize people who have done reviews. Remember our neighbor William Boyack had mentioned to us that he reviews for 3 journals. That's a lot of contribution to science. And thank you, William, for contributing to science or to research. But many reviewers are no longer so much interested in reviewing, but because universities use the review track, if a person is known to have reviewed for many people, the person could be promoted based on those reviews, or the person could be recognized in one way or another. But generally, it's a difficult thing, and they say that they don't want to pay. Journals say they don't want to pay because if they pay people, it could make the review process to be biased. And reviewers are saying, but you're making a lot of money from it. So these are some challenges about that. So choose the right journal. This is a conclusion. Choose the journal first to align the manuscript, the structure from the start. Remember yesterday, Professor Komolafe told us about the shape of a journal. Begins broad, it narrows, and then makes a broad conclusion as well. This is kind of looking at the shape, the funnel shape, or different methods as he described yesterday. So consider the review speed before you get in, so that you know whether that's where you really want to go to. So for the aspect of different journals or the best journals, if you are writing, it's important you can find, if you want to find a journal. In our last training, when we brought up this, somebody was a bit worried about it, but we're able to explain why it is important. So you can find journals. There's what they call journal finder. It's what they call journal finder. Let me share another screen that can help us to do this together. Journal finder. Okay. Let me stop this sharing and share another screen. Journal finder helps you confirm which journal is the best for your work. And remember, you can get the journal finders from the publishers. I mentioned two very important publishers, Elsevier and Springer Nature. Many people like to publish in those places. You can type in other publishers in the chat. Asma, who asked for journal recommendations in the field of agricultural sciences, right? Asma asked for in the field of agricultural sciences. So for agricultural sciences, you can find, assuming you finished writing already and you don't know what to do anymore, how to select the best journal, you can copy your title or your abstract and use it to find the good journal you want to publish with. So so you can go to Elsevier Journal Finder. This is Elsevier Journal Finder. I hope you can see my screen. Yeah, I know you cannot talk because everybody's muted, but you can type if you are able. I hope you can still see my screen. Okay. Okay. Right. Thank you. So somebody is asking for agri-economics and also agriculture. Asma asked for aquaculture. Agri-economics. Okay, thank you for alerting. Yes, you can see my screen. Asma, Engineer Kanu. Okay, thank you, Emmanuel. Thank you, Amidu, for your response. Thank you very much. So this is how you can find the journal that is suitable for your work. But of course, it can be very good to ask a mentor in the area where you want to publish. You can ask your professor or ask a mentor in another area. But sometimes many professors don't pay attention to their students. If you have challenges in that regard, you can reach out to your professor and say that you want to be able to confirm if the journal that you are looking for is able to publish the work or not. So you can say match my abstract. You can copy your abstract and put it there, or you can copy the keywords or the journal title. So, for example, let's type in. Lawrence said agri-economics, or I forgot that. Agricultural economics. Okay, so we type in that, and you just wait. It can bring you journals that are related to agricultural economics. Okay, so these are the journals recommended. Yeah, where is it? Oh, it's like, see, type. Okay. Okay, see, agricultural economics, agricultural water management. You see that now impact factor is 6.5. The site score is 13.3. The time to first decision is 8.71 days. That means within 1 week, you are able to get information on whether your work is moving to the reviewer or it is coming back to you for one thing or another. And this is, I'd say that the time to acceptance from the first submission to the acceptance is 126 days. So if you check this information before submitting your work, it will be good for you, because then you can decide ahead of time. You know, you can decide ahead of time whether you really want to publish there. So Asma, you can see this Annals of Agriculture, Annals of Agricultural Sciences. You see also that this journal takes $3,280 to publish one work. Now, in most occasions, people foot this bill with grants. If your research has got a grant, then you can pay, you can make provision for this money through the grants. But imagine someone who has no grants. How can they publish in that kind of journal? There's another one with Annals of Agriculture, has impact factor of 3.2, site score 8.0, 54.9 days. This is the first decision. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? That means you submit and you wait for almost 2 months before they give you the first response. Why would somebody want to publish there? And you see that the acceptance rate is 1%. This is really serious. 1% acceptance rate. That means that if 100 people submit to them, only one is likely going to be published. That's really dangerous. And I think they don't like publishing. Okay. And they also charge $1,000 for the publishing. And it must be that I'm really surprised they only have impact factor 3.2. And the one that has 6.5 takes shorter time. And you see they have 6.5 because they publish more frequently. Okay, and then there is agricultural and forestry science and Journal of Environmental Economics and Management. So these are examples of the top journals in the area of agricultural economics. And another person requested for good journals, Rita, I think it's Rita, requested for good journals in the area of, let me check the chat box again. Okay, economics generally. Okay, so let's check for economics journals. There are so many of them. Economics journals. Right. Let's just delete agricultural and leave economics. And then we can put journals at the other end, because we need it to know that we're looking for journals not something else. Okay, so the other one we did got 21 journals, 21 search results. Okay, so we are looking for economics journals. Okay, I think it has brought out some things. Okay, still loading. Yeah, here they are. Economics Tier 2. There's a journal called Economics Tier 2. Okay, Journal of Asian Economics. Right, you see, Journal of Asian Economics has impact factor 3.4, site score 5.1, 89.2 days, 262 days for publication. Just is the same as the last one we saw. And they charge $3,190. That's a big problem. Labor economics Tier 2, international economics, energy economics Tier 1 charges $4,280. Their initial response is 1 month, 30.55 days. You get it published in 201 days. Yeah, these are all examples, many examples. So you can find anything in this place, journal finders. You can also use Springer Nature journal finder. They also have a product that helps people find journals. So, but so we don't need to check out that one, but it's something you can just type, whether it's in Google or in any other platform, and they can tell you whatever you need to know in that regard. And I think I already presented my last slide. So I would like to take questions. We still have quite some time. I'd like to take questions. If anybody has any question, you can raise your hand. Okay, so, okay, Gushan Ajmal asked for sociology journals. So all you have to do is just go to Journal Finder. You can use Elsevier Journal Finder, or you can use that of Springer Nature or any other one. And that can give you information. Okay, somebody has just asked a question. So remember, you can talk if you'd like to talk. Now, I think we're going to permit everybody to be able to unmute. We had taken away the right to unmute before because we were worried about interferences which we were getting. So, so for everyone, if you want to, somebody has asked, how do we get waivers? So when you are submitting, there is a place that can indicate, depending on the journal, they do indicate the place where you can indicate where you're coming from. You can click to request for waiver. You could also use your cover letter to request for. So while submitting, you write a letter to them and say, I come from so place. I did not get a grant for this research. I come from so country, which is categorized. But again, not every journal provides such service. You need to check the journal's author pack, whether they provide such services for you know, for people that come from such places. Okay, my neighbor William would like to speak. William, I'm going to grant you to be able to unmute yourself. Please, you may unmute yourself. Are you able to do that right now?
Yeah, I did it.
Great.
Thank you, President, my neighbor. Actually, I would like to answer the colleague who asked, how can you get a fee waiver? There are some journals that give the option for the option without paying the fee. So for that option of the subscriber, it's called subscriber option. So when you indicate for the subscriber option, you'll never be required to pay any kind of a fee. But when your paper is available online, it will be accessed through subscriber option. And this is always your agreement with the journal. So there are some of the journals that give two options, open access and the subscriber option. So for a student who don't have funding, you go for option subscriber, and you won't be required to pay any money. And this is what most of us are doing, especially those who are still doing their PhD or their master's. So you look for the journal that has two options, the option for subscriber. This is how you can go about it. Based on what President Neva said, actually, when you have some projects that could pay for your paper, you can go for open access, because for open access, your paper will be available for everyone. And this one will increase chances of it being accessed by so many people, hence high citation. But for the options of subscriber, everyone will be accessing it through paying for it or subscribing for it. And the journal is the one to benefit on that. So these are the options. So you just check those two options for a journal. There are journals that give those things, and there are those journals that are only for open access. Thank you.
Great, great. Thank you very much, my neighbor, for your support in this webinar. Great, great, great. Yes, so Rita has, okay, yeah, Rita, I guess your question has been answered. You got more than one answer for your question because you've got some extra information from our brother William on the modes of publication, which we talked about. He was able to elaborate that. And also you got some information about the way for asking for waivers. So sustainability is a MDPI journal that demands 2,160 CHF. That's almost 19K Chinese yuan. What should do? So just apply for waiver. That's the, or don't publish there. Don't submit there or apply for waiver. That's what you have to do. That's responding to Rida Muzamal. Right. Okay. So, does anybody else have question? Anybody else with question or comment? Still have quite a lot of time. Anybody? Okay. Okay. Okay, so if there is nobody else asking question, let me do this, but let me seek permission of just as part of helping for people when you need to find the recording that will be made available later, you may follow this channel on YouTube. You'll be able to get the recording later on YouTube. You can follow the channel, the OAD channel, subscribe to the OAD channel, or you can also subscribe or follow this WeChat channel, which I'm going to show us right now. So as part of supporting the process, please feel free to scan and scan I saw somebody talking about QR code. So I remember that we could also provide this information, the QR code. So please feel free to scan this QR code and follow the channel so you could get updates. Okay, my neighbor, Engineer Kanu, would like to say something. Please, the floor is yours. Engineer Kanu, the floor is yours. Are you able to unmute yourself? Can you hear us? Hello, Engineer Kanu, can you hear us?
Yes, thank you very much,
Great.
Doctor.
Great. Welcome.
Can you hear me?
Yes, clearly. Fire on.
All right. In your introduction, you were looking at Africa, our global contribution on research. You were saying it's weighted at 1%. And you mentioned that there are various factors that tie to this global contribution. Based on experience, as you are heading a very strong institution and you want to push the dream of African or Africa engineers or entrepreneurs or researchers. So my question is, I just want you to share your experience based on these factors that you said there are so many factors contributing to this global impact, which is the 1%. So we want to know, as you are an expert and you've been in the field of research for so many years. So we want to learn from you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Engineer Kanu. Okay, so the factors, I will just break them down, and I'll start with the one that is very obvious, but people don't necessarily pay attention to it. Now, majority of the people, like I'm aware, this event is being organized by Union of African Communities in Xi'an, that's in China. You belong to one Chinese university or another. Even though you are African, when you do your research, the research, even though your name is on it, your research does not belong to you, neither does it count for Africa. And how do they know that Africa contributes? Actually, it's less than 1% of global research output, not even up to 1%, it's less than 1%. How do they know that? You can get to know that by collating all the research that lists African affiliations as part of the affiliation of the people who did the work, of the authors and the co-authors. So even though you are African and but you are in China, the work you publish cannot count for Africa. It will count for China. It will count for Asia. Secondly, the United Nations education provision suggests a certain percentage of investment in education and research. A certain percentage of the GDP of each country should go to research, to funding research. But most African countries, all African countries, none meet the requirements. China and the US are the two biggest funders of research. And their percentages, I don't have the figures offhand, but their percentages, I've done some work around it previously. Their percentages are a bit high. And sometimes people argue that China is the second biggest economy and that it attained that because it funded research. And some other times people will say that it is that is the other way, kind of the case of egg before the chicken or chicken before the egg. Or China is a big economy because it funded research, or it is a big economy so it funded research. The US also, being the biggest economy in the world, is also the biggest funder, or one of the biggest funder. And in recent years, China is the highest growing and is now the largest contributor to global research output. China is now the largest globally. But African countries are not funding research. And even when people do research, research is not taken seriously because it's not considered by politicians when they are making policies. So researchers often just do research for the sake of doing it and for the sake of being promoted in their universities or research institutes where they work. Another reason is that there is very little collaboration between African researchers. Very little collaboration between African researchers. So that's reducing the number of research that could be done. So people are working so hard, but as individuals, like you all are here right now, it will be a disaster if you keep working just as an individual. You have other Africans in Xi'an or other Africans in your university, other Africans in your field. Why not get in touch with them to do research with them, because it will allow you to publish more. Some of OAAD members who have been very active in publishing, we know some people who published up to 50 research articles, about 3 people, and they are all in OAAD. They are all Africans. 1 is from Kenya, 2 are from Nigeria. They each published up to 50 articles during their PhD research for 3 years, within 3 years. We know some people also who have published 10, some people published 20, and all of that. And basically, how this is possible is because they are part of collaboration. Collaboration is very weak amongst Africans. Another factor is also there are research that have concluded that there is racism in the world of academia. And one of our colleagues, Professor Edmond Sanganyado, had mentioned of how he submitted a work by himself using his name as the first author, but when they just see his name, because the name, is an African name, they did not pay attention to it. The work was rejected, but the same work without improvement was submitted, but having another person's name as the first author, and he corresponding, and also other people around that, it got better. It got submitted to reviewers, and it was subsequently published after they made relevant corrections. But it did not even get a chance initially when it had this African name. However, at the Global Organization of African Academic Doctors, we don't like to emphasize whatever complaints. We just take action. Part of the value of this training we are doing today, we have been providing this training for several organizations across Africa. We've done it also for universities back in different African countries, including Botswana. The most recent one we did was with the University of Botswana. So we're providing these services to help increase the capacity of African researchers and help them understand the pitfalls that are ongoing. And we are mobilizing the best of researchers amongst us who are spread across 5 continents, many of them working as professors in different universities in the UK, like in the US, in Australia, Asia here generally, across 50 African countries as well. We are putting ourselves together and we are also facilitating research collaboration. As an organization, we've co-published with organizations, with researchers that are affiliated to the organization, over 200 research articles in very top journals. And like we also mentioned, we're in the process of setting up a journal. So we know that this is a problem, and we have taken the bull by the horns. We're taking responsibility to solve the problem. And we are hoping that in the next few years, not only will our research outputs become larger, but also we will be leveraging these research outputs to drive entrepreneurial activities. We are looking forward to being able to start a lot of companies, and for our members who are doing a lot of work or who have done some good work and they want to turn their products, their research into products. We have developed a program that's called OAAD Global Paper to Product Initiative. And in fact, by the end of August, by 23rd of August, we are planning a very important meeting where we'll be introducing some OAAD members, talents. And in fact, if you are doing a good research and you are capable of showing that your work can be converted into a product or a service, which is actually almost everybody's work can do that, but you need to be able to show it, strategically, show it very strongly. You can actually participate in a meeting we're going to be having in Shanghai, a very important meeting. You can join us physically in Shanghai, or if you're not able to join us physically in Shanghai, we may be able to provide online platform like Zoom where people can also join. We are bringing these people to Fudan Software Park. So we'll be bringing them to also expose them to funding opportunities that can provide money for them to do their research. And we're looking forward to being able to, in fact, at the moment in OAAD Global, we have 51 research groups. And our goal is that we want to turn every research group into a company. So they begin by doing one review or another related to Africa or other areas. And in the future, in the years ahead, every research group will be a company. And we're looking forward to being able to support them using the network we have built and are building. And over time, it will be very easy for people when they graduate. They don't need to bother too much about looking for jobs. It will be easy for them to get jobs as long as they are part of the system and they have shown evidence of consistency and participating in what we're doing, and we can vouch for them. We can say, yes, we remember this person was part of the collaboration we did at so place. Oh yeah, this paper, he was part of it. And somebody can present evidence and say, I was part of this. It will be easy for us because we are building a trust-based system. So OAAD is often described as a competency-based, trust-enabled international organization, because we want to be able to engage with people based on competency, based on trust, and also businesses are going to be advanced in these, things of this nature. So, but these are the problems that have made African research output to be very low. And there could be some other factors, and I will welcome anybody who may want to suggest other factors. Please, if you know other factors that I did not mention, you can type it in the chat box, or you can indicate to raise your hand and share your thoughts. And once again, my neighbors, please scan this QR code to follow our WeChat channel so we can continue building together to drive the process of engagement within, to also see what we can do to, improve the capacity of African research output. And beyond that, we will build together intergenerational wealth, because you see, like we complained, many times researchers do review work, but they don't get paid. Companies pick the work that researchers have published and use to do their own products and make money, but the researchers don't get paid. Many researchers die poor, but you see, we're going to turn some of these things around, because we're going to be building companies, and we're going to be turning, several processes that have been happening in some ways that are not very interesting. We're going to be turning those things around as the years unfold. Yes, so please, my neighbor, Kanu, that's a response for you for that. I don't know if that answered your question, or if there are some other thoughts that we need to look into. Okay, beautiful. Okay, Atia Rafakat typed, being researcher in GIS/RS field, can we expect that UCAS will conduct such meeting for AI, remote sensing, or big interdisciplinary data in environment field, focusing on climate change? UCAS is what is UCAS, please? UCAS.
I think he meant UAC.
Okay. Oh. Okay. Please, the USC president, you may respond, please.
Okay. We've noted down your recommendation. We'll definitely work on it. We will schedule a date with the OAAD team, and then we will get back to you.
Great. And actually, at the moment, we are in the process of partnering with an entity that is focused in this area. Are you doing master's or PhD, Atia? We're currently, you may have heard about GeoGPT. Yes, so it's an AI platform that's focused on on GIS that you just mentioned and other geo-related aspects, where OAD is going to be having some engagement with them, which can also facilitate the process of what you've mentioned, or the area you've mentioned. All right. So, okay, any other questions? Okay, you're a PhD student. Okay. Are you already in OAD for, and if anybody is doing PhD or masters and is not part of OAD group, you may also link up with me and we can bring you on board. You can, my WeChat ID is linking up for growth. Linking up for growth. Yeah, that's my WeChat ID. We can link up and we can bring you in there if you want to collaborate with other people, if you want to do several other things that can also contribute to driving the African space. Yeah, so my time is remaining 15 minutes. But if there are no further questions, or comments, I will hand over to, okay, he mentioned that he is engaged with glacial lakes, outburst, flood detection in mountain area using spatial data. data tools. Okay, spatial tools. Okay, that's great. That's great. We have a research group for GIS and RIS. The QR code on the group on the screen is for channel, but if you want to link up with me, you can also link up through there, or you can link up through the WeChat ID. You copy the WeChat ID and put it in there. Yeah, Atia, thank you. All right. Okay, any further questions? If there are no further questions, my neighbors, I will now like to hand over to our moderator, Josephine. Please, over to you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Elijah C. Odi, for a phenomenal training session. We are grateful. So a special thank you on behalf of the Union of African Communities in Xi'an, UAC, and OAAD Global. We extend our heartfelt appreciation to everyone who participated in the 2 days online training on improving scientific writing and publishing skills. Your active engagement, insightful questions, and vibrant discussions greatly enriched the session and made it a resounding success. Special thanks to our distinguished speakers, our trainers, Dr. Temitope, Dr. Komolafe and Dr. Elijah C.O.D. for sharing their knowledge and expertise on the topic we chose. This experience has been impactful. So thank you very much to our wonderful trainers. For those of you who have not logged in with your full names, please change your names to your full names so we can easily prepare the certificate of completion. And and for those who are not in the UAC and OAAD Global WeChat groups, you can kindly add my WeChat, that is Jomag, or the WeChat that has been shared by Dr. Odi himself. You can add the WeChat ID and we can invite you to the groups, or we can send you your certificates privately. So thank you very much. Warm regards from the UAC Xi'an team and OAAD Global team. Thank you all very much for your time, and to our trainers for sharing their knowledge with us. We are looking forward to continued support from the OAAD team to do more online training sessions so everyone can benefit and everyone can learn. So thank you all very much. Do have a blessed evening and a fruitful week ahead. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.